Shalom, my brothers and sisters in Yahuwah Elohim, and welcome to our midweek Bible study. Today, we're going to be studying Yehoshua, which is Joshua, and we will be in chapters 13, 14, and 15. So go ahead and grab your Bible so that you can read along with me and see it with your eyes and hear it with your ears. I hope everybody's having a good week. And we're halfway through it. Alright, gang, get comfy, and we'll get started here tonight. This has been a good study. Oh, I'm not sure if you're really going to need a pen tonight, but just have one around just in case. I don't think that we're going to be really writing anything down. It'll just be a matter of me reading, and you can read along with me. Alright, first thing, if you're reading out of a scriptures Bible, like mine, then you can either read along with us, or if you want to follow along by looking at a map, because this all has to do with their inheritance, okay? So in looking at a map, in the back of the Scriptures Bible on page 1250, is a map of the inheritance for the children of Israel. So if you want to, you can look at that map while I'm reading, and that way you'll see what I'm talking about, and you won't have to try to use your imagination to piece it all together because it's right there on the map. It's a really awesome map. So there's a whole bunch of maps in the back of this Bible, which is one of the reasons why I really, really like it. It's got a good translation, it's got reference maps, it's got a dictionary, it has all kinds of stuff in it, and it's really a good Bible. So if you're interested in these Bibles, it is the Institute for Scriptorial Research, is where you get them. It's a website. And just look and see at the Bibles that they have, because they have several different ones that are just like compact, or like the one I've got that's large, and it's got the big letters and the big words, and so you can see it really easily, but it's a very large Bible also. But my wife's is like paperback size, you know? So, you have a choice on what you're looking for there in the way of Bibles. And they're good translation. They're Hebrew to English translation. Okay? All right. Let's get started here tonight. Yehoshua, which is Joshua, chapter 13. And Yehoshua, Joshua, was old, advanced in years. And Yahuwah said to him, "You are old, advanced in years, and still much of the land remains to be possessed. This is the land that remains, all the districts of the Philistines, and all the Gershurites, from Sihor, which is in front of Mizraim, and up to the border of Ekron northward, are considered as Canaanite. The 5 princes of the Philistines, the Azathites, and the Ashdodites, the Eshkolonites, the Gittites, and the Ekronites, also the Abavites. On the south, all the land of the Canaanites and Merari, that belonged to the Tisdonians as far as Aphek, to the border of the Amorites, and the land of the Gebalites, and all Lebanon toward the sunrise, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon, as far as the entrance to Hamath. All the inhabitants of the mountains from Lebanon, as far as Misrephoth Maim, and all the Tisdonians, I myself drive them out from before the children of Israel, only divided by lot to Israel as an inheritance, as I have commanded you. And now divide this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh, with them the other half-tribe The Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moshe had given them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moshe the servant of Yahuwah had given them, from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the wadi, and all the plain of Medeba, as far as Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon as far as the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, and all the border of the Gershites, and of the Maacathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan, as far as Salcah. All the reign of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth, and Edrei, who remained of the remnant of the Rephites, the Nephilim. For Moshe had stricken and disposed them. However, the children of Israel did not drive out the Gershites, nor the Maacathites. So the Gershites and the Maacathites dwell in the midst of Israel to this day. Only the tribe of Levi he had given no inheritance. The offerings made by fire to Yahuwah Elohim of Israel were their inheritance, as he said to them. And Moshe gave to the tribe of the children of Reuben for their clans, and their border was from Aror, which is on the bank of the Wadi Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the wadi, and all the plains of Medeba, Heshbon, and all its cities that are in the plain, Dibon, and Bamoth Baal, and Beth Baal Maon, and Yitzhah, and Kedemoth, and Mephath, and Kiriathim, and Sibmah, and Zereth Sherah, on the mountain of the valley, and Beth Peor, and the slopes of Pigsah, and Beth Yeshmoth, and all the cities of the plain, and all the reign of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moshe had stricken with the princes of Midian, Iwai, Rechem, Zur, and Hur, and Reba, princes of the Sihon dwelling in the land. And the sons of Israel killed with the sword Balaam, son of Beor, the diviner, among those who were killed by them. So after all the things that Balaam, son of Beor, had done to the children of Israel, and to Moshe and Aaron and his sons, and the whole mess that he was doing, cursing them, trying to curse them, but he couldn't because all he could speak was the words that Yah put in his mouth, they finally were able to get rid of that scumbag. All right, verse 23. And the border of the children of Reuben was the bank of the Jordan. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben for their clans, the cities and their villages. And Moshe gave to the tribe of Gad, to the children of Gad for their clans. And their border was Yazir, and all the cities of Gilad, and half the land of the children of Ammon, as far as Aror, which is before Rabbah. And from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah, and Beth-Enam, and from Mahanaim to the border of Debir, and in the valley Beth-Haram, and Beth-Nimrah, and Succoth, and Siphon, the rest of the border of Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, the Jordan, being its border, as far as the edge of the sea of Kinnereth, beyond the Jordan, eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of Gad, for their clans, the cities and their villages. And Moshe gave to half the tribe of Manasseh, and it was for half the tribe of the children of Manasseh for their clans. And their border was from Mahanaim, all Bashan, all the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, and all the small towns of Yair, which are in Bashan, 60 cities, and the half of Gilad, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, cities of the reign of Og in Bashan, were for the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, to the half of the children of Machir for their clans. These Moshe gave as an inheritance in the desert plain of Moab, beyond the Jordan, by Jericho, eastward. But to the tribe of Levi Moshe gave no inheritance. Yahuwah, Elohim of Yisrael, he was their inheritance, as he had said to them. Chapter 14. Now these, the children of Israel, inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, and Yehoshua son of Nun, Joshua, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel, caused them to inherit. Their inheritance was by lot, as Yahuwah had commanded by the hand of Moshe, for the 9 tribes and the half-tribe. For Moshe had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half-tribe beyond the Jordan, but to the Levites he gave no inheritance in their midst. For the children of Joseph had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and they gave no part to the Levites in the land, except cities to dwell in, with their open land for their livestock and their possessions. And Yahuwah had commanded Moshe, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. And the children of Judah, came to Joshua, in Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, said to him, You know the word which Yahuwah said to Moshe, the man of Elohim, concerning you and me in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back word to him as it was in my heart. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I followed Yahuwah, my Elohim, completely. So Moshe swore on that day, saying, The land on which your foot has trodden is your inheritance, and your children's forever, because you have followed Yahuwah, my Elohim, completely. So the land that they had went and spied out, that his foot had been on, remember where they said that there was giants and such? That's his inheritance. So Caleb gets the land where the giants are. This is going to be good. Verse 10. And now, see, Yahuwah has kept me alive. And he said, These 45 years since Yahuwah spoke this word to Moshe, while Yisrael walked in the wilderness. And now, see, I am 85 years old today. Wow. Yet I am still as strong today as I was on the day that Moshe sent me, and my strength was then, so my strength is now, for battle, and for going out, and for coming in. So he's just as spry at 85 as he was at 40. They spent 5 years fighting to open up the land of milk and honey so that they could settle there. 5 years. Because they wandered the wilderness for 40, remember? Verse 12, And now, give me this mountain of which Yahuwah spoke in that day, for you heard in that day how the Anakim, the giants, were there, and that the cities were great and walled. If Yahuwah is with me, then I shall dispossess them, as Yahuwah said. Joshua then blessed him, and gave Hebron to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. So Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, to this day, because he followed Yahuwah Elohim of Yisrael completely. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kirath Araba, Araba was the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from fighting. Araba, the greatest man of the Anakim, so he was the biggest and baddest of the Nephilim in that area. Yeah, yeah, and Caleb was like, dun dun dun, let's go get him, boys. Chapter 15. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah, for their clans was the border of Edom, the wilderness of Sin, southward, in the extreme south. And their southern border began at the edge of the salt sea, from the bay that faces southward, and it went out to the southern side of the ascent of Arquabim, passed over to Zin, and went up on the south side of Kadesh Barnea, and passed over to Hetzron, went up to Adar, and went around to Karqua, and passed over to Asmon, and went out to the wadi of Mitzrayim, and the border ended at the sea. This is your southern border. And the east border was the salt sea as far as the end of the Yarden, and the border on the northern quarter began at the bay of the sea at the end of the Yarden. And the border went up to Beth Hoglah, and passed over north of Beth Araba, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. And the border went up towards Debir, and from the valley of Achor, and it turned northward toward Gilgal, which is before the ascent of Adumim, which is south of the wadi. And the border passed over to the waters of En Shemesh, and ended at En Rogel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom to the southern slope of the Jebusite city, that is, Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the top of the valley of Rephaim northward. And the border went around from the top of the hill to the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and went up to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border went around to Bela, that is, Kirath Yearim. And the border turned around from Bela westward to Mount Seir, and passed over to the side of Mount Yearim on the north, that is, Keslon, and went down to Beth Shemesh, and passed over to Timnah. And the border went out to the side of Ekron northward, and the border went around to Shikron, and passed over to Mount Bela, and went over to Yabnel, and the border ended at the sea. And the west border was the coastline of the great sea. This is the boundary of the children of Yehudah, all round for their clans. And to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, he gave a portion in the midst of the children of Yehudah, according to the mouth of Yahushua to Joshua. Kirath Araba, that is Hebron. Araba was the father of Enoch. There again his name is mentioned. So he must have been a pretty important dude to get mentioned twice. He must have been pretty big and pretty bad. Verse 14, and Caleb drove out the 3 sons of Enoch from there, Sheshai, and Ahaman, and Talmai, the children of Enoch. And he went up from there to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir formerly was Kirath Sepher. And Caleb said, he who strikes Kirath Sepher, and shall capture it, to him I shall give Aksah, my daughter, as a wife. And Othniel, son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, did capture it, so he gave him Aksah, his daughter, as wife. And it came to be, when she came to him, that she persuaded him to ask her father for a field. When she got off from the donkey, Caleb said to her, what is the matter?" And she said, "Give me a blessing. Since you have given me the land in the south, give me also fountains of water." And he gave her the upper fountains and the lower fountains. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Yehudah for their clans. And the cities at the furthest border of the tribe of the children of Yehudah, toward the border of Edom in the south, were Kabzeel, and Eder, and Yagur, and Quinah, and Dimonah, and Adadah, and Kadesh, and Hatzor, and Yithnon, Ziph, and Telem, and Bethaloth, and Hatzor, and Hadattah, and Kerioth Hetzeron, that is, Hatzor, and Mam, and Shema, Moladah, and Hatzor Gadah, and Heshmon, and Beth Pelet, and Hatzor Shaul, and Beersheba, and Bizrathiah, Bela, and Ayim, Esem, and El Talad, and Kisil, and Hormah, and Tizlog, and Madamah, and Sanasana, and Lebaoth, and Shilhim, and Ain, and Rimmon. All the cities were 29 with their villages. Man, there's some names for you. 33. In the low country, Eshtaol, and Sorah, and Ashnah, and Zanwah, and En-Ganim, and Tapua, and Enam, and Yamuth, and Adulam, Sako, and Azqua, and Sheraim, and Adathaim, and Gederah, and Gederithaim, 14 cities with their villages. Tisan, and Hadashah, and Migdal, and Gad, and Dilon, and Mitzpah, and Yoktheel, and Lachish, and Botzquath, and Eglon, and Kaban, and Lamam, and Kithlish, and Gederoth, Beth Dagon, and Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Yipthah, and Ashnah, and Netzib, and Quelah, and Akzib, and Marishah, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron with its towns and its villages. From Ekron to the sea, all that were by the side of Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod, its towns and its villages. Azah, its towns and its villages, as far as the Wadi of Mitzrayim, and the great sea with its coastline. And in the mountain country, Shamur, and Yetur, and Sako, and Danah, and Kirath Sanah, that is, Debar, and Anab, and Eshtemah, and Anim, and Goshen, and Halan, and Gilah, 11 cities with their villages. Arab, and Dumah, and Eshan, and Yanim, and Beth Sapua, and Athequa, and Hamtah, and Kirath Araba, that is, Hebron, and Seor, 9 cities with their villages. Maon Carmel, and Ziph, and Yatah, and Yisrael, and Yakadem, and Zanovah. Cayin, Gibah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Halhul, Beth Tur, and Gedor, and Marath, and Bethanath, and El-Katan, 6 cities with their villages. Kirath Baal, that is, Kirath Yearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Arabah, Madin, and Sekakah, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and Edgadi, 6 cities with their villages. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah were unable to drive them out, so the Jebusites have dwelt with the children of Yehudah at Jerusalem to this day. And that's the end of chapter 15. Whew. Oh my goodness. All those names of those cities. Wow. Here's a challenge for you. Go through them. See if you can pronounce all those cities. That's a challenge. Wow. It's a tongue twister is what it is, because you're just all over the place. Wowzers. Well, gang, I hope that you got a lot out of that, and I really, really hope that you're able to see it on the map. Because if you can see it on that map, then you can truly understand where the borders are for each of the tribes of Israel, where their inheritances ended up. You can see where the country of Canaan is and how large it is. Because it's a lot bigger than it is now. A lot bigger. Alright, gang. That's all I've got for tonight. I hope y'all are getting a lot out of these studies. Joshua is a great study. And I pray that I will see you all tomorrow night for our next study in the Book of Yashar, which right now is running right alongside of Joshua. I mean, they're like side-by-side comparisons right now. So if you want to catch that side-by-side comparison, go back a couple of studies to where we start Joshua and start both of those studies at the same time. And you'll end up side-by-side pretty much. It's a little bit different, but not much. But it's quite the comparison. So if you get a chance, go ahead and do that. It's pretty interesting to see side-by-side comparison there. Alright, well, that's it. And I pray that I'll see you tomorrow night, and if not, we'll see you on Shabbat. Alright? Alright. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you then. Shalom.